Welcome to Bay Rats and Buoys with your host, Captain Gaige.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. I'm your host, Captain Gaige. This is episode number 11. I can't believe we're in the double digits already. It feels like I was just sitting on my boat yesterday, and we're already 11 weeks into this. Super excited. Love the positive feedback, and a big shout out to all the Facebook admins in the groups that post and share the podcast. I really appreciate it. And guys, keep the positive feedback coming. Head on over to sandcitycharter.com. You can get yourself a free Bay Rats and Buoys podcast sticker. Just fill out the form. I'll be happy to send one out to you. I already sent out over 500 of these. We got another 500 to go as far as the free merch is concerned. So head on over there and fill it out if you want a free sticker. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Johnny Lee from the Black Fishing After Fluke Season Ends Facebook group. I really appreciate the message that you sent me. I really do. And I want you guys to know, in all the Facebook groups, I am in hundreds of Facebook groups that have to do with fishing and boating. And those admins that share the post and help it along, I really do appreciate it. It's awesome. And I am getting a ton of positive feedback. And I want you to know that the video is also available on our YouTube channel, which you could see at sandcitycharter.com. That's probably the easiest access to it because it is on the home page once you get there. So check that out. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel as much. The Facebook groups, we are getting a lot of views on the video, and I'm very grateful for that. Let's keep that going this winter. And we're going to have a lot of good news coming your way as far as Bay Rats and Buoys is concerned, moving into the springtime and as we move along. A lot of big things happening. So last week, I told you guys that there was an app that I truly couldn't live without as far as a boater. But I want to let you guys know, whether you're a surf caster, any kind of fisherman, that app will also assist you from where you are on the beach. As I thought about it as the week went by, I said, wow, the surf casters could use that too, because you get to see the entire layout of the beach, and it's going to help you find fishier spots where the fish are hanging out for sure. At least let you find some bait, and if you find the bait, you're going to find the fish. So that Navionics app, a lot of people have it built into their Garmin device on their boat. But what happens when your battery dies on your boat? And it happens all the time, guys. I'm a commercial tow captain. I can't tell you how many battery jumps I got to go out there and do. So let's just use that as a scenario where your battery died, okay? And you had Navionics on your phone. You're not going to be able to drive your boat back because your batteries are dead. But my point is that it doesn't matter that you have it built into your Garmin device, because you're sitting on your couch now in the wintertime, unless you took your boat down south, and you can still plot different getaways and different courses and save those tracks and save stuff and do it automatic. You could do it manually. There are so many things that app offers that I'm just telling you, I think it's worth every penny. And in this episode, I want to tell you guys about a couple of other apps that I think are mandatory on everybody's phone. It doesn't matter who you are. So first off, we'll start off with the Coast Guard app. I think everybody should have the United States Coast Guard app on their phone, accessible, very easy, because that scenario that I just brought up, that your battery died on your boat, all four of your batteries died on your boat, and you don't have any electronics, and you're relying on your phone, okay? You open up the Coast Guard app, and I'll put it up here on the screen, so what I'm going to hold here, you'll be able to see. You open up the Coast Guard app. You can now hit emergency assistance because your batteries are dead, so your VHF radio is obsolete. That's not working. So what are you going to do? You're going to use your phone. Now, you got a couple of options here, all right? You can call Coast Guard, or you can call 911. By hitting that emergency assistance bar, you also get to see your current location. Now, that's something in your phone. You're going to have to go into your settings and allow it to share your location. And you want it to share it with this app, that's for sure. Because when you open this app up, knowing your latitude and longitude is huge. I even taught this to my kids. In a what-if scenario on the boat, God forbid I collapse and I'm with my kids, they know how to make a mayday call on a VHF radio. They also know how to open up this app and call the United States Coast Guard. They also know how to give them my location. So that, to me, right there is time-saving and life-saving information that's built into your fingertips right here and should be on every phone. So, like I said, as a commercial tow captain, we get a lot of guys that call us that they broke down and they're telling us where they are. And they're not where they say they are. That happened. I can't begin to tell you how many times that happens. Or they'll say they're the only boat out there, and we get out there, and there's 20 boats in the area. So having a pair of binoculars helps too. But guys, this app, I think everybody should have it on their phone for sure. And not only that, what to know before you call. All right, it's even listed there. And again, I'll put it on the screen here so you can see your current position, the number of persons on board, the nature of your distress, and the description of your vessel. Those are the things that they're going to want to know right away. Then they'll ask you if everybody's wearing a life jacket, are there any injuries, and all that stuff. But those first four things are probably the most important. And you should be able to teach somebody else that you have on your boat, because I know, guys, it says to file a float plan. How many people in the history of owning the boat have filed a float plan? I know I haven't. We tell the wife, yeah, we're going fishing. I'm going down to the marina. I'm going on the boat. We're doing this. We're always out in the same areas. If you're traveling into a different area, yeah. If you're traveling internationally, you're traveling into waters unknown to you, yes, maybe you should file a float plan. It's definitely a smart idea. I haven't done it because I stick to my local waters, and I'm not heading out to an area that nobody's going to be able to find me if I give them a lat and longitude. Or what if I disappear? What if you fall overboard? What's happening? So filing a float plan is not the worst thing in the world, but I haven't done it. I'm going to be honest with you, 100%. But you hit that emergency button here, and you're going to be able to open that up and see that. I'm going to close it. I'm going to close that, and then you get back to the home screen on the app, and you guys will check it out. I'm not going to read everything to you and go through the whole app, but I am going to tell you that this is an app that during this winter, you want to learn how to navigate and use. Don't wait till you get out there in May and start opening it up in the sunlight and not know where you're going and what you're doing on it. In an emergency, you want to be able to hit that red bar, call 911, call the Coast Guard, get your location, and get on the radio and give that detailed information to the Coast Guard, who then is going to put out a pon and do a hello all stations and let everybody know the nature of your distress, the description of your boat, a lat and longitude, and the nearest boaters are going to be the ones that come over and assist you. It's not like the Coast Guard's out there a half a mile sitting away from you waiting to come assist you. They're going to get the nearest captain to come assist you in any way, shape, or form. And we're all willing to do that. That's part of the code on the water. That is a captain's code that we are going to stop what we're doing. We're going to pull up all fishing rods, and we're going to come help a boater in need for sure. And I hope as a boater out there that you feel the same way. We like to say on the water, the guys that wave to you, yeah, that's a guy that's willing to come over and help you. The guys that drive by you and don't wave to you, don't give a shit, and don't care, there's a good chance that guy is not coming over to help you out in a distress situation. And also hanging your distress flag. When your boat is disabled, flying that disabled flag, that distress flag, over the gunnel of your boat might help you in ways that you might not think. Where you're sitting in the bay 300-400 yards from the entrance channel, the entrance buoys to your home channel to go home. You're not far from home. And here come 55-foot azimuths zipping by and big boats coming by. Well, if you have that flag out, they may see that you're disabled. And maybe, if they're paying attention, and it's a big if they're paying attention, they may not wake your boat. They may slow down. They may move out of the way so they're not going to wake you as bad. But there's times where I pull up to disabled boats and the wakes that we're getting from people going by is just absolutely ridiculous. It's insane out there, to the point where I don't want to be next to that person's boat when that wake is coming, because that's just as dangerous. So the Coast Guard app is my first app that I'm going to recommend to you guys that I think every boater should have on their phone. The second app I just had to use on the last trip out there tog fishing on the Connecticut side of the Long Island Sound. and that is my radar. So I have a 23-foot center console that does not have a radar setup on it. That will change come the springtime. But I want to say that there are a lot of boaters out there just like me that have center consoles, dual consoles, bow riders, and boats that are not equipped with radar. So having a radar app on your phone is absolutely detrimental, especially for me. And I'll tell you how I used it on the last day. Even though we're out in the Long Island Sound, you look west, you look east, you can see all around you. If you're out in the ocean, you go out of Jones Inlet, you can see the weather all around you, okay? You can. And you can see when inclement weather is coming. But you don't know how bad that inclement weather really is. And pulling it up on the radar, you're going to see whether there's yellow and red and lightning strikes. That radar app that I have, I'll put it up here on the screen. I use it, and I also have it set. Some of the features in there are absolutely awesome, and I have it set to let me know when there's lightning strikes over Glen Cove. And when there's lightning strikes over Glen Cove, I want to be alerted of those lightning strikes 20 minutes to a half an hour before I'm in danger. Okay, I can't be in harm's way out there in the Long Island Sound and not be able to get out of the way of those lightning strikes. So if there's lightning coming, I want to know about it. And that app is going to give me an alert telling me that lightning strikes were just recorded in Glen Cove, and that gives me enough time to pull up the rods and get out of here and head back into Huntington Harbor. And I got to tell you, I probably should set it for a harbor or two further west, because there's been times where I get into my harbor, and I'll show you pictures on the screen right now, where as I get into the harbor behind me, the lightning strikes are over Cold Spring Harbor. They're close. You could hear them, you could see them, and you could feel them. So, and that's when I pack up and go in right away. I don't waste time, because you guys got to understand, you don't know how fast those storms are really moving. So you really got to get a grip on that and be able to look at it and say, holy cow. So we were out there 2 weeks ago on a Friday to close out the season. Like I said, we were fishing on the Connecticut side, and we saw the clouds coming. We saw them, and we fished through it because we knew it was only going to be a light drizzle. I pulled up the radar, and there it is, west of us, over New York City and over Yonkers and New Rochelle, going to be sticking over the Connecticut side. You could see yellow and red, and you know yellow and red in the radar is not good, because that's when you're going to get your thunder and lightning, and you don't want to be on the water in those situations. Trust me, I don't care how big or what kind of boat you have. It is no fun out there. So you're going to want to take cover, and we did. And my point is that we saw it coming. And we saw the drizzle. We got drizzled on a little bit, and we didn't run in, because behind the drizzle, we saw clear skies. So I opened up the radar, and you could see, okay, it's raining over Yonkers and New Rochelle. It's coming this way. It's heading this way. And by 3 o'clock, it's going to be here. And by 3 o'clock, I want to be in my harbor. I don't want to wait till 3 o'clock until that rain comes. And we also noticed with that first rain that passed by, the back end of that rain, there were real high winds, and you could see the whitecaps really start to pick up out there. And these are the situations you would be able to avoid by having radar on your phone. You don't need to have a big fancy radar unit on your boat to avoid those situations. And I think the one app that I have is $20 yearly, okay? And $20 yearly is well worth it to have an app on your phone that's accurate. Then you could share this information. So you could share it with your buddy, which I can't begin to tell you. I have friends that are out there fishing on boats that don't have radar, and they're hitting me up to see what the radar is doing, and I'll share it with them, and they can see the clouds moving. I'm not just sending them a screenshot of it. I'm actually sending them the animation of the radar, and they can see it for themselves. And I got to say, why wouldn't you want to have that out there? Doesn't matter who you are, what kind of boater you are. Having it on your phone is awesome. And again, you don't need it on your phone if you have it on your boat, and you don't need to have Navionics on your phone if you have it on your boat. But I'm going to say it's a great backup, and it's also something you could learn how to use in the off season. So from now until April, you can get really good at Navionics. You can get really good at the radar. You can get really good at the Coast Guard app. And those 3 apps alone are going to make your life out there on the water a lot safer, give you a lot more confidence because you're going to know when the rain's coming. And because, guys, I got to be honest with you. If I listen to the forecast that's forecasted every day, whether it be the rain, the wind, whatever they're forecasting, if I listen to them, I would never go on my boat. And I say that because we all feel the same way about weathermen. And I don't care if you're a weatherman and if you're in the reports and you're doing whatever. I think you're all full of shit, all right? Because you never get it right, and it's something you're never going to get right because it's obviously too hard to get right, and you guys just don't get it. I'm sorry. So that's just my personal opinion, and I'm entitled to it, and that's how I feel. I feel like weathermen are full of shit, and that's it. So as a captain, I got to be my own weatherman. And I got to tell you, getting on my boat and heading out there into certain conditions, knowing which way the wind is blowing, is it going to pick up in the afternoon? You're going to want to know all that. I know before I get on my boat in the morning what the wind direction is, what the wave heights are, what the wind direction is going to change to in my course of my day out there, because the wind is never out of the same direction. That wind shifts. In fact, I've seen it hit 3 different directions in one afternoon out there easily. It happens all the time. And you can take it a step further. When I'm sitting at home, I log in to the weather buoys that are in the Long Island Sound. And so I'll put links to those weather buoys in the description of this video, so you guys can go check it out and see exactly what I'm talking about, because I like to have accurate information, and there's nothing more accurate than the weather buoy that's in the middle of the Long Island Sound. You want to see 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts? It'll show you that it's gusting up to 40 miles an hour out there, and it's accurate. So it's not some other apps. There are other apps that everybody swears by, and I swear to you, if you look at that app every day, you would never get on your boat. So for me, I really like to be my own weatherman when I get down to the dock, okay? And again, I'm in a harbor. It's going to be different the minute I turn the corner and I get out of the harbor, obviously. So you have to take all of that into consideration where you are. Don't look at the flag, and the flag, it's not flying. Doesn't mean that it's not windy out there. So, and when I trained a lot of new boaters, I would tell them, if that flag is pinned, it's blowing hard, and that flag is straight, and you could see all the stars and all the stripes, it's probably a good day to keep your boat tied up to the dock, that's for sure. Because on a day like that sounds to me, it would look to me like gale force winds, substantially in the 20-mile-an-hour mark and above. When the small craft advisories, guys, it's stuff you want to know ahead of time, and you don't want to head out into that. But in my area, can you head out in a small craft advisory? Absolutely. You could fish in the harbor. You could sneak out and fish into the back bays if you know how to, if you know where you're going and what you're doing. So for me, it's a matter of safety out there. And those apps that I just recommended to you are going to help you in a tremendous way, whether you're a novice at boating, whether you're an expert at boating. If you don't have those on your phone, I recommend getting them. A VHF radio for everybody. I can't believe it's not a requirement. It's a recommendation to have on your boat. I get it. But having a VHF radio is going to get the captains around your boat to come assist you a lot quicker than calling 911 or you'd have to call the Coast Guard for them to put out a pon-pon. But technically, if you had a VHF radio, you could put out that same distress call, and the captains closest to you should be coming to respond and assist you during any time of distress on the water. So, again, a VHF radio to me is something that you should have a few of them on the boat. I have 2 of them and 2 handhelds. So there's 4 VHF radios on my boat that can be turned on to any channel at any time. And that's not me being overbearing and having too much, because each radio has its purpose. The ones that are powered up by the boat. The handheld ones, they're sitting in a compartment ready to use. If you're going to go in the water, you want to throw it on your hip, fine. They're waterproof. They float. That's cool too. But I'm monitoring multiple channels, and that's the reason I have multiple radios on my boat. And I couldn't live without it. So the Coast Guard app, that was number one. Last week, the Navionics app. I think it's well worth the money. And then there's a bunch of different radar apps. So there's NOAA, there's Chime, there's My Radar. I happen to have all three of them on my phone, and they're all good. They all very equal. So I'm not seeing one that's greater. My favorite out of the group is the My Radar. I happen to like that one and use that one because I can share information and share the animation with people. And if you're going to go out there boating, I think safety for me is paramount, because once you have that knowledge and you have all that at your fingertips, you leave the dock, you have a lot less to worry about, especially when you have passengers on your boat, and being a charter, I take people out, their lives are in my hands, and I want good reviews. I want people to come on the boat and feel like, at no point was I, cavitating my engine while jumping 3 and 4 foot swells out there, hooting and hollering, having a good time, making it dangerous for people. So, for me, it's all about safety. And like I said, I'm on a center console, and you're going to get wet. When the conditions get rough, you're going to get wet. And you want to know when those conditions are going to change out there. And having the tools that I just recommended to you is going to help you do that. Now, there's also another website that I use that is also an app that I should throw into this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. I can't believe it's number 11. Tides with the number 4 fishing. Tides4fishing.com. Now, it's everywhere. So you got to go pick the United States. You got to pick New York. You got to pick your area. And that's what's cool about it. So you could pick, Eaton's Neck. You could pick Lloyd Harbor. You could pick Glen Cove. You could pick all the different things. It's going to tell you the tide. And I got to say, the wind in there has been pretty accurate, where it tells you what the wind direction is going to be at midnight, what it's going to be at 6 in the morning, what it's going to be at 12 in the afternoon, and what it's going to be at 8 o'clock at night. And shows you the changes in the wind direction, shows you the tide. It shows you the tidal coefficient. I don't even have to look at it. I use it so much, I know what it shows me. It'll show you the tidal coefficient. It'll show you the UV rating for the day, so you know it's going to be an 8. You're going to want to have sunblock on, and oh boy, do I have a fun sunblock story for you guys. And I probably should have the can here with me and save it for another episode, because it is definitely a prank. It's something funny, and I can't believe it happened to me, and I'm going to have to share it with you guys. But tidesforfishing.com. I mentioned the UV, and that got me into the sunblock, which obviously you see me. I'm fair-skinned. I got sunblock on the boat. Plenty of cans of it. I buy cases of it and keep it so that if anybody else needs it. So that tidesforfishing.com is absolutely awesome. I use it every day. Doesn't matter where I'm going fishing or what I'm doing. That's something I look at. I can look a few days in advance and see what it's forecasting. And it's pretty accurate. I'm going to be honest. So if you want to be your own weatherman, those are the tools that I'm using to help me make better decisions before I leave the dock. And I want to share that with you guys. Because not only is this Bay Rats and Buoys a podcast about fishing, it's also about boating. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, that people that download that Navionics, you could be a surfcast fisherman, okay, and use Navionics. Go check it out and tell me, that you can't. And I bet you're going to tell me that it's great and you love it, because you're going to be able to see things you didn't get to see from the beach before. And I fly drones, guys, so I would go at low tide, I'd fly the drone. I'd come back at high tide, I'd fly the drone. And I could show you tons of drone footage here in the B-roll and put it up there. And again, you're going to want to tune into the YouTube channel because I am starting to put up YouTube shorts and putting up videos of all this stuff that I'm talking about and all these videos that I have from the shark fishing, from the flying the drones, and all the stuff that we do, guys. I'm really into this. So I'm super passionate about it, and I love sharing it with you guys. And I do love the positive feedback that I get. I don't care about any negative feedback. Doesn't matter. It's not going to stop me from doing what I do. And I welcome that as well. I'm not worried about what people say out there. Criticism is good. It's good both ways. And you can't avoid that in social media. I get it. You guys see the posts when you guys post pictures holding fish and, there's no measuring device and you're asking people how big it is to comments. You see a lot of people get annoyed in the groups, embarrassed, and they all say, I'm leaving this group. I can't believe it's just a bunch of Googans in here. And that's what you're going to get. That's social media. So if you're not hard-shelled to that and it's going to bother you, then, maybe social media is not your thing. What can I tell you? But if you're going to post stuff in social media, you better be hard-shelled to it because you're going to get the haters, you're going to get the positive feedback, you're going to get it all, and you got to deal with it. And however you take it in, hopefully you come out the other side a better person. And that's what I love about Facebook. Because I'm in all the groups, guys. I check out everything you guys are writing. I see what everybody posts. I'm even in the spearfishing groups now. I'm in hundreds of boating and hundreds of fishing Facebook groups. So I love seeing what you guys post, and I read what you write. I do, and I love it. It's absolutely awesome. And like I said, Johnny Lee, thank you so much. In the Black Fishing After Fluke Season Ends. That's a pretty cool name for a Facebook group because everybody, that's exactly what happens. And this year, I got to say, it depends on where you fish, I guess. But the fluke season for us here on the North Shore was nothing short of horrible. It wasn't good. The black sea bass fishing was not good. So there are things where we do need change. And I see the votes are coming in now that they're asking everybody. I'm going to be showing up to these meetings and casting my votes and really getting involved. So if any of you guys are going to any of those meetings where we're going to be voting on the striped bass moratoriums and shutting things down and input that we could give to help, like I tag a ton of fish. I try to do my part and help the conservatory to help create a great fishery so that my kids will have a place to come fish in years to come. And, do our part. In the springtime, we're going to be at the marina in our area cleaning up all the garbage that's in the water and doing what we can. My son hates seeing balloons. He's 12 years old. All right? And when we get out there and he sees a balloon, he grabs the gaff and he's like, yo, Dad, we got to go get that. We got to pick. We can't leave that in the water. It's just a foul. Somebody committed a foul, And it's true. He's right. What am I going to tell him? No, let's leave it there. You're absolutely wrong. No, I'm going to go get it, and I'll show you here. I could probably find the videos. He's got garbage bags with balloons, tons of balloons that people just release and let go and think it's going to fly into the heavens. No, guys, it's going to be in the ocean. It's going to be in the water in less than an hour. So don't do it. Don't let them go. Pop them. Throw them out. And, that's just doing our part. So not going to harp on that, but I do want to attend these meetings for the striped bass and really stay involved. I do talk to the guys at the DEC because I visit that building in Kings Park. I do go there to get my permits. I do see them at the fishing shows, and I love talking to them. We'll see if we can get them on the podcast because there's a ton of questions to help people, with the sizes and all the different stuff. So I'm sure they'd be willing and able, and we'll see if we can make that happen. We do have a lot of really cool guests coming on the show. So I'm going to ask everybody to stay tuned in and share the podcast with any one of your friends and listen in. If you're seeing it in any of your Facebook groups, share it with your buddies. If you're checking it out on YouTube, throw us some comments in the comments below. We'd love some more comments on the YouTube channels, and hit that subscribe button. We're going to break 1,000 viewers by next week. By episode 12, the YouTube channel will be up over 1,000. Really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving and a good holiday ahead. So wishing everybody a happy holidays. This is episode number 11. If you guys would like a free Bay Rats and Buoys podcast sticker, head on over to sandcitycharter.com. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode. I hope I'll put links to anything that I talked about in this video down in the description so that you guys can go access it. See if I don't know if I can share the apps, but I will put the names of everything so you can see it and be able to get it for yourselves, download it and use it, and get good at using it during the wintertime. So you have this whole off season to learn how to use those apps, and I guarantee you come the springtime, you're going to appreciate me sharing that information with you. And that's it. Bay Rats and Buoys, episode number 11 is in the books. I am super excited. Stay tuned in every week. I will release this podcast every Thursday. It follows my fishing report for the Long Island Fisherman Magazine, the Metropolitan New York Long Island edition. And I really got to say, I appreciate all the Facebook admins that share it and help the post get out there to everybody. You guys are awesome. And hit that subscribe button. Head on over to YouTube and download the video wherever you guys get your podcast. It's available. Just type in Bay Rats and Buoys. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gaige on all our social media channels.